play that shit again. What the fuck? I should probably check this one more time before I... Welcome back to the stream, everybody. We are continuing Of the Devil today. Under Rampa Yellow tonight on my YouTube. We are continuing Of the Devil today. I only have a short little while until like 5, so I only have like 2.5 hours-ish, unfortunately. Show me your hand, Flat. You're uncuffing me? In light of the evidence, we have no reason to hold you. Now I gotta go call the DA and tell her I made a mistake. Not we made a mistake, huh? Listen, kid, you should know. Detective? Lost my train of thought. Are you gonna threaten him? But hey, your attorney's a real tiger and she fought like hell for you. Make sure you thank her properly. Public defense doesn't pay that well. Yeah. That's kind of you to say, Detective, but my work is its own reward. Heh, sure, I feel exactly the same, Counselor. What happens now? I have to speak with the DA about the dismissal, and there's still some paperwork we need to go through, but basically you're free to go. Congrats, you get to leave the casino with your kneecaps intact. Yay? But what am I supposed to do? The detectives will continue their investigation. The investigation into heartbreak, huh? Yes, when the authorities are satisfied with the examination of the body, she'll be handed over to the next of kin, and then you can make funeral arrangement. No, that's not what Diane being gone is bad enough, but a serial killer? It's like she died of the flu. It doesn't happen anymore. People die of the flu all the time, but I know what you mean. I can't make sense of it, so what am I supposed to do? Hell if I know. There's some contacts I could give you. Services, professionals, doctors. No, you've done more than enough for me. When you got here, I was too tired to even defend myself, to try and convince them that I didn't. You saved me. Thank you. You're welcome, Carlos, but it's my job. No, I mean, thank you for not asking. For not asking if I killed her. Oh, Carlos, I didn't need to ask. I knew you were innocent from the start. Of course he was. After all... Did we just kill him? The blood's always different. Heart's always in the same place. Oh my god, wait, it was us the whole time! But the blood's always different. A flowering sane furling towards an invisible sun. A perfectly unique bloom, one for only each of us. A Rorschach test with the singular vitality at its climax. An infinite the end. But the comical thud of the body hitting the floor has its own kind of lowbrow appeal. Did we kill him? Are we the killer? Bullet number 6. It was us the whole time! It's useless to me now. Might as well leave it. Feels like a... Oh my god! But, whatever. Ow. So it was us the whole time. Criminal defense attorney, criminal defense attorney. Finding the ammo was almost enough of a hassle to outweigh the advantages. I could sell an untagged gun for a fair bit of cash, but cash can't buy you peace of mind. Oh, don't look so surprised, lady. Moping around in the dark in here must have only been able to see my silhouette. Did she think I was her boyfriend back for an encore of that enthralling conversation? Can't ask her now. Hey! Yeah, did you hear that? These old pieces are so goddamn loud, and people aren't even familiar enough with the sound anymore to know to run the other way. Probably roused half the neighborhood. This is the moment of the fucking murder. Could they really not afford them throw pillows? I used the other 5 bullets in outdoor spaces, in small spheres of blind opportunity that the city's eyes couldn't think to pierce. Cramped places, usually full of trash. But this room, as cheap as it looks, is clean, organized even. So the corpse ad is... Why did we defend him then? Except... there's shit on the floor. By the window, there's broken pieces of something fragile and tacky. It's fine. It's just one thing out of place. Actually, it's not fine. It's actually really irritating. I kick over the stupid goddamn mirror. 5 perfect crime scenes, each of them not a speck of evidence, nothing to go on. And for the final shot, there just has to be some pile of shit in the corner ruining everything. Wait, so you just wanted it to be clean? I kicked the wall. Something falls from it, probably more tasteless bullshit. I knock over the chair, knock the urn, tear into the sheets with my frustration and try to savor the shredding. If it can't be clean, I'll just have to lean into the messy angle. Why did we defend him, though? He was a perfect scapegoat. He was dead to rights. Why did we go to defend him? At least it will be... Is it just our thing? Consistent. Is that just our kink? To defend people we frame? This was all so stupid. Honestly, I'm not the ego-driven type. In fact, I pride myself on my humility. Now, it was satisfying when the first went... Was it satisfying when the first 3 went down with single shot? Yes. But so what? I'm not made of stone. After that, I did start to actively aim for the heart, but... Ugh. Heartbreak killer? Really? Don't people have anything better to do with their time? What kind of miserable lifeless voyeurs would observe something that's obsess over something that's none of their business? You know, I could fix her. I could fix her, you know. I could fix her. I could. All the threads and breakdowns and the goddamn theater crafting, and all for the heartbreak killer. Sounds like a soap opera villain from a season where the writers were on strike. I'd feel insulted by the labor, but no, that's somebody else's name. They came up with it. They spread it. They marketed it. Heartbreak's got nothing to do with me. He's just some reclusive, lonely, socially impotent loser who sought 6 people because... Well, I'm sure people will come up with something. That he got rejected one too many times or whatever. Me, I killed those people because I saw them and because I wanted... Adachi?! And I've killed a lot more than just 6. At least the room is thoroughly trashed now. If I had just walked away after seeing that mess by the window, it would have irritated me to no end. And now that it doesn't match the MO for the last 5 perfectly, it'll irritate the cops to no end. Enjoy Heartbreak. You enjoy your 15 minutes in the spotlight. Really savor it. I'm going home. The air's weighty tonight, thick, energized. A heavily foreshadowed summer rain I can feel on every hair. They call it this kind of humidity oppressive, but the warm tension on your skin. Like when those short moments just after the shower turns off when the steam lingers. Yeah, it's always most comfortable right afterward. Maybe there's no disagreement to be had. Oppressive things can be comforting too. Only the guilty ones run. I don't know about that. But I know I've never felt guilty about any of this, and I walk. God damn! That made things so interesting. You can just initial in those spots. I took this... Oh, we didn't kill him. Okay. Scenic route home. Courtesy of our fine city, sprawling public transportation, and got it a bit after 11 p.m. Had myself a thorough shower, drank a glass of milk, did some stretching, made sure my phone was on. Time went by evenly. Around 1:40 p.m., a posting for public defender work. Decent rate since it was late and so urgent. I had wagered correctly that the boyfriend would have enough sense to ask for a lawyer, and enough debt that he'd need to be provided one. A system? Wait, are we DID? Or are we just one and the same? All I had to do was stay awake. There wasn't much competition after 1 in the morning. Okay, where else? Here and here. How did I phrase it? Criminal defense attorneys aren't exactly flush with customers. Why wouldn't I take a job where I already knew more than the cops? It would be easy to convince Carlos to plead out. I would have gotten paid the same too, but easy is dangerous. Carlos was, of course, innocent, so his conviction would never be airtight. There'd be doubts, questions, appeals, Maybe even fans, depending on his looks. Oh, so that's why. More attention on HK and his crimes. More headaches. A cold case riding in the far back of the public awareness is always preferable to one opened and shut in haste. Now, with no more murders matching HK's MO, there won't be any additional public pressure to find a culprit. Now Heartbreak can just starve to death, out of sight and mind like any other fluke in the system. Getting involved with a case this intimately does have its risk. Hell, I might have even overdone things here or there, like lighting up a smoke inside of an interrogation room, just to make doubly sure I didn't still smell of gunpowder myself. I can't believe I stopped right before this. That's hilarious. That I just stopped right before this happened. That London fellow seemed more fixated on it than I would have liked. But obviously everything turned out rosy, and it's worth it for the finality of it all. Seeing the authorities' failings from the best seat in the house, that's just a bonus. Thanks again, Morgan, for everything. I'm sure Diana's grateful too. Funny, I didn't even know her name. Something the matter? No, sorry, it's just, I was mad when I left the apartment. I know she was too. So when she died, death was instantaneous, Carlos. I can't imagine that she was in any pain. In fact, I can guarantee that she was dead before she hit the ground. I know, but I keep thinking that she must have died angry at me, that she must have died hating me. To tell you the truth, Carlos, there's something I've been wondering about myself. Something I noticed in the ARCS data that I didn't quite understand. A piece of the puzzle I couldn't fit anywhere else. But maybe you can make sense of it. Right, the pills. Where did you find that? The pill organizer was found on the victim. She had grasped it in her hand when she died. Obviously, the police added it to the ARCS, but it was quickly ruled irrelevant. Seems like it contained triprexazone, prescribed out moderators with phantom itches. The small tablets, and those are tricky clasps too for a pill organizer. Could be hard to handle with an unsteady hand. No one will ever know what she was feeling when she died. Even if they did, feelings are complicated. You can feel angry, happy, and sad all at the same time, but as far as the facts are concerned, it would appear that when she died, what she was doing was setting out your medications for the week. To my eyes, anyway. They even had the post-trial thing like an Ace Attorney. Long night. That was too far just now. Practically rubbing it in his face. It's not like I care about his feelings. I doubt I'll ever see him again. But overstepping like that is just pure hubris. And hubris invites a downfall. So why? Why did I even bother? It was the last piece of the puzzle, I suppose. I just need to show more restraint next time. Though there won't be a next time for Heartbreak. The gun's in custody. There's no more bullets left. There won't be a 7th victim. There won't be any more leads to pursue. The media will move on to the next obsession. I'll move on to my next MO. And you'll... found you. District Attorney Rockford. Sorry, can I try that again? I'm so fried. Ugh. Counselor Morgan, morning, noon, or night, you're always so put together. Thank you. I don't get it. How do you sleep at night? Pardon? You do white noise, aromatherapy? Whatever you're doing, I need to steal it. God. I must have bags under my eyes, dark enough for the dumpsters. Assistant District Attorney Demo Rockford. She's a prosecutor, the lawyer who argues for the state in court, trying to prove a defendant's guilt. And despite her sometimes unkempt appearance, she's probably the sharpest person to fill the position in decades. I should know, since I haven't beaten her once. Worse yet, she has the remarkable energy to compartmentalize all that adversarial energy and only bring it out in the courtroom. It's part of what makes her good at her job, and hard for me to read. What they've got you doing at this ungodly hour, Emma? Cat that person? Yes. Oh, well, actually I'm here for you. Your client was a suspect in the Heartbreak killings. That's my case. Well, then you must have been relieved for finding out you won't have to go to trial against me. No? Why would I worry to be going on against you? It's always the unintended barbs with her. So you're working with those detectives? Yeah, London and the new girl, Ray's. They've been reporting to me in preparation for trial. Preparation for trial? That seems ambitious. I guess they gave you the rundown. They've been doing everything they can, but it's hard to catch a killer who leaves behind so little. It's hard to kill while leaving so little behind. So Ray's told you they had HK in custody and you popped out of bed all excited to run down here? Hardly. I haven't slept in 40 hours. Too much on my mind. So when I heard about a case with a single female shot through the heart, yeah, my ears perk up, but that's about all. Oh? I mean, Carlos Flat, a serial killer. The same serial killer that talks mad at the state for weeks. She's not using his middle name. He was found with the murder weapon, but I can answer that any number of ways. What? What do they want me to answer? But then I glanced at the report. No gunpowder residue on him or his clothes. Too remorseful, too apologetic in that note. Whatever it was about, his dominant arm modded with documented sensitivity issues could never have made shots that clean, not with getting close enough to leave scorch marks. Not to mention he's too tall for the ballistics entry angles, and probably too heavy not to leave imprints. She got all that from a glance? But I'm sure a competent lawyer like yourself pointed all that out the minute you got in here. Of course! Worst part is she's not even being sarcastic. Yeah, of course it couldn't have been him. Long-term relationship, physically imposing, argumentative, so not the type to bother things up. He didn't match the profile. Right, sorry, you've probably never heard of it. I know what a goddamn profile is. A profile is a reconstruction of the criminal psychology based on evidence from their crimes. That's wrong profile. Kind of fallen out of fashion for the last few decades. Need to guess about the why when 99 out of 100 who is caught on camera. Or before they even leave the house. I had to find some real fossils and oddballs to get advice on how to go about it, but I'm getting the hang of it. So this profiling, it's kind of an investigative technique. The theory is that a crime can tell you something about the nature of a person who committed it. Stabbing, overkill, points to passion, rage, lust. They probably knew their victim. Poison and guns, meanwhile, suggest that they can't overpower their victims physically. And then there's the things you can assume about nearly all serial offenders. Childhood trauma, prior criminal record, few to no meaningful attachments. There's lots of recurring themes in their stories. The detectives say HK doesn't leave evidence. So how much can his crimes possibly tell you? That he's diligent, almost perfect, highly intelligent, painstakingly organized, and with enough criminal connections to get his hands on an untagged firearm. It's rare to see her this animated outside the courtroom. It's almost like she's enjoying herself. A sheltered outcast you picked up with the scent of a mouse. All over her playfully lethal instincts coming to life. Though I'm not thrilled by the fact of the metaphor, I would be the Know what I mean? Definitely. She's onto us. And considering the marksmanship, HK would need insider information on optics. So does that mean Heartbreak's in law enforcement? Never in 10 billion years. Antisocial, independent, despises authority. That'd be like a stallion applying for a job at a merry-go-round. They'd be kicking kids in the head at the first full rotation. There must be some connection to the police, though. Maybe secondary or tertiary? These types can't help but insert themselves. How do you not I don't even do anything resembling that. Wait, if HK is not a cop, how do they know about the blackout timing? Crime meta-statistic analysis, probably. Take the emergency response times from across the city and map them out. Look for brief spikes and delays. Check out the dips and... Sorry, technical, I know. But all the requisite data is publicly available. With a map, a spreadsheet, a calculator, anyone could reverse engineer the timing if they wanted to. That is such an unpleasant thought, Emma. Well, at least this Heartbreak Maniac will slow down now that he lost his weapon. He didn't lose it, he chose to leave it behind. That tells me he's confident he can do just fine without it. And it makes me even more certain that these aren't his only kills. Were his other shootings with the same MO? No, not that I found. Other victims that fit the description? No, but I'm not overly focused on the victim's appearance anyway. I mean, these 6 victims all look like each other, but they look like a lot of people. That's true. Hell, they kind of look like me. Do they? Oh my god, that's what that meant! Sure. What, you don't see it? I hadn't thought about it. Are we gonna kill her? Point is, no one can kill that cleanly when it's their first time. Getting things that perfect takes practice, so I know that HK must have had a lot more than 6 occasions to practice, Morgan, and that's why I think Heartbreak is a misnomer. You got something catchy in mind? I just don't think shooting them in the heart had any particular significance. If anything, it's a testament to their accuracy and their cold-blooded efficiency. The best possible use of 6 untagged bullets. 6 kills, guaranteed, no matter what life support mods they were packing. The real signature isn't on the bullets or gun, it's the perfection. That's hard to wrap your head around. I'm saying these 6 murders were just a fluke, a slip-up, a mistake? Exactly, a mistake. They got too clean, too efficient, and now they got the public's attention. It's no wonder they're so pissed. Are you talking about the crime scene? Yeah, probably threw the detectives for a loop, right? Based on what you said, I don't blame them. Whoever trashed that room doesn't seem like the smooth operator you've been describing. On the contrary, this was their last bullet, their last shot. The other 5 were perfect. So if anything was out of place this time around, they must have thrown one hell of a temper tantrum. She's so on to us. You make them sound like a child. Childish, and cowardly, and two-faced. Someone who hates to lose almost as much as they love to win. Your profile tell you all that. That? No. That part's just... takes one to know one. So to summarize, you're looking for a cold-blood, faceless perfectionist killer who you think has no persistent MO or victim type, in a city with an 8-digit population. Well, good luck! I don't need luck. I only need more information. Well, I'm sure the city would be happy to provide you with more resources. No, Morgan. I mean I need more crime scenes. Sad truth is, if Heartbreak walked away today, I'll never catch them. Only way my net narrows is if they keep piling up bodies. Not a very fair trade, is it? No, it isn't. But getting screwed over is a given. It's a deal with the devil. Fair enough. Woof. Okay, that rant was pretty morbid and detailed. I need to get out more, or sleep less, but harder. You think a higher thread count would help? Don't worry about it. I'm always happy to listen to you ramble. It's a lot more pleasant than having to face you in the courtroom. Sorry, but that's the adversarial process, so no hard feelings, yeah? No hard feelings. We're both just doing what we do. I could use a cup of coffee. How about you? If you fall first asleep, I won't even take a picture. Okay, just don't expect this to make a difference next time we're at each other's throats. Heartbreak won't claim any more victims. In 2 weeks, the media will have moved on to the next sensation, and the police will have moved on to cases they actually stand a chance of closing. It's what people do. But Emma is different. She'll set it aside and work a dozen other cases, never bringing it up. But a private corner of her, of that frustratingly sharp mind of hers, will continue to whittle away at it. You're gay. You're gay. Look at the way you're looking at her. Never finishing, but not quite quitting either, so I can't afford to take my eyes off of her. As long as that's the case, I might as well and try to enjoy the view. Really? Oh, brother, you are that gay? Emerald Sustrai? Which means you're gonna be living with my friend for a while. For how long? I'm sorry, I don't know. There's no need to look that upset over it. My face barely moved. It might as well have been a blatant pout from where I'm sitting. Yeah, like that. This friend of yours, they're trustworthy. Absolutely. In fact, I trust them more than anyone. Hey, come on, it'll be fun. Really? Really, educational too. I think you could stand to learn a lot from someone like Morgan. What? That was sick! You're the smartest person I know, Morgan, when it comes to people. Personally, I think it's cruel to bring something that flawed into the world. You're a criminal defense attorney and we're at a crime scene. I think I can guess what happens next. I've never stolen anything that wasn't already compromised. Work hard and the company will have you set for life, and afterward too. So that's not just a lawyer job thing? You dress like a doorman on the weekends too? Who is she? The company wheels don't stop spinning for anything. We can't hope to keep this quiet for very long. But it's a million more times more likely than the alternative. The Heartbreak could ever stop themselves from killing. Father said that you owed him. I don't do anything out of the goodness of my heart, but when I take a job, I never half-ass it. Congratulations, you finished episode 0 with 30 credits. Oh hell yeah, it's Morgan time. Alright, we'll start episode 1 today. You can choose to play episode 1 in high roller mode. In high roller mode, you're limited to one save slot and you won't be able to reload your saves. Fuck it! We're doing high roller mode. I want to play like a gambler. Welcome to high roller tables. Disable tutorials. Listen, I wanted to thank you for coming over. Figures you'd notice. Anyone could tell something's bothering you. You're the first person to say anything. The police came to see me. In public? No, they wanted to be considerate of my privacy. That's the first. They wanted to talk to me about the other week, about my whereabouts and yours. I told them I didn't know anything. They must have loved that. Funny, what would you have done? In your shoes, probably cursed them out. Yeah, I could see that. Is there anything you want to ask me? No. Not even for a favor in return? No favors lost between friends, I say. That sounds like a toast. Haha, why not? To friends. I'll raise a glass to that. Glass him! Vandalism detected. Incident logged. Reported at 8:55 a.m. local time. Geopositional data encoded. If I could have all citizens in the area. Fuck off, copper! Visuals impaired, facial recognition compromised, pinging nearby opt-ins for cooperating evidence. Hey, it's lighting up every phone on the block. Need to go now or what? He'll use his outdoor voice? Or have us pinned down to a dental record before you can say we're fucked. Morning, Officer Leo. You look different today. You do something new with your uniform? Good morning to you, Morgan citizen. Oh, all our data reset. Body count. You cannot ask someone that. In more ways than one. To answer your question, no, I have not gone under any recent retrofitting. If you'd like a more detailed record of my maintenance history, you can make a request for... I've got it! Must be the new coat of paint! You're referring to the act of vandalization that just took place. Only the most recent one. Super Cop here has a new dent every time I see him. Scars honorably earned in the line of duty, scanning the street for jaywalkers and loiterers. Don't worry, ma'am. Our report has been filed. They do bleed pink! It's Danganronpa! Civil disobedience at this time of day? What's the world coming to? They're just stragglers, ma'am. There's a period of unrest in the area last night. Unlicensed protesting and demonstrating without a permit. Unlicensed protesting? But the next individual instance of fertility may occur to the next 48 hours as we work to apprehend outside actors. Thanks for the forecast. So does the bleeding stop on its own? Androids don't have blood, ma'am. This is just a leakage of oxidizing fluid. So you don't need a bandage, I take it. The leakage will dry shortly. With that conversation thoroughly exhausted, I let my mind wander as I waited for the signal. I unfocused my eyes and dulled my hearing, sinking beneath the hum of the city street. Invading through the lives bustling around me like so sea foam. Across the way, a large man with worn hands and an ill-fitting belt turns to a gorilla-like hulk of a machine and cuffs his hands in front of his mouth. Yo, 61! The machine halts its lifting with uncanny precision and turns to him. We're going on break! The robot tilts his head to the side. You can't work the piler without Schwinn up on the roof, so... I don't know, take a load off, will ya? Understood, came the over-enunciated reply. The man, already walking away, tosses a dismissive wave behind him. Yeah, understood. A moment after the man turns the corner, the robot attempts to mimic the hand wave to no one in particular. Goddamn coppers on every street corner. Living things, people, animals, or corporations. At a bus stop, or what used to be a bus stop, now a charging station, a passionate young man voices his democratic opinion loud enough for the whole street to hear. They declare martial law when I wasn't looking? A small woman beside him tries very hard to appear even smaller, shifts in her seat. But they're just doing their job, so... Bots don't have jobs, except the ones they stole from us. Notice how they don't patrol nearly so often uptown, even on the worst days? His audience, captured by virtue of sharing, that shuffles cops and stares even harder at their phones. The woman looks at her knees and pulls at his shirt. You're kind of embarrassing me right now. Shh. He makes a vague gesture to her hand to indicate he stepped off his soapbox, and the shoulders of everyone around him relax a centimeter. Oh, now that's just... A woman with exhaustion in her eyes, floats at a hologram floating above her copper-plated palm. While a rounded, smooth-looking android pushes a carriage behind her. Ellen, walk around the block. Get some air, would you? Apparently this call can't wait, and it's louder than a garbage disposal in here. Of course, ma'am, I'd be glad to. The android punctuated its sentence with a sound halfway between a whir and a purr. Which, judging by the coos and giggles coming from the child, seems to be well perceived. Robots, holograms, androids, drones, coppers if you prefer. Can as much as sneezes in the city as much as without ADDs offering you a handkerchief. There's a vocal minority that think they're the downfall of civilization, but for everyone else, you're too kind, ma'am. It's hard to hate them when they're so eager to please. Crosswalk's giving me the okay. Keep us safe, yeah? Have a good day, Morgan citizen. It's a bright, crisp morning in the city. Lights changing and people moving in click-clacking harmony. All smooth as clockwork. Were I in a worse mood, it would all be a bit much. But I went out last night. So I'm feeling pretty refreshed this morning. As I reach the other end of the street, I pivot lightly and give automated dependent assistant officer Leo the best impression of a salute. Thank you for your service. And of course he creaks out a mirrored response. No sense of sarcasm, the poor bastard. But I didn't come all this way downtown to poke fun at the only happily employed class in human history. No, I came down here to make an important purchase. Today I'm gonna buy a gun. Oh, fun! No staff around, but all the lights are on. Should I knock? Sup? Just personality setting 6, the cool one. Let me know if I can help you with anything. I've probably forgotten more about firearms than you're programmed to remember. I bet you can. I recently required a license to carry concealed. Are you in law enforcement? Do you shoot for sport? Business or pleasure? Neither! May I ask why you're looking to carry concealed? Oh, you know, assault with a deadly weapon and cruel intent, that kind of thing. Some of my clients live in very rough neighborhoods. Even in broad daylight, coming down to the lower wards for the house visits can be... I see, you're a lawyer. So I guess you could say I'm in the market for self-defense. We have a wide array of options for self-defense in a variety of sizes and calibers, with spread in PA and fire options But it's gonna be registered to us. If a gun is registered to us, they'll know who we kill with it. Don't do it. My bad. PA stands for pseudo-automatic. But for concealed, it need to be at least small enough to. This could go a lot faster if I could just tell the desk what I want. But walking in here and asking for a very specific model is gun nut behavior. I'm not trying to stand out. Some of the ones I test fired at the range let my shoulder sore for days. Do you have anything more discreet? Right, no problem. Electromagnetic pulse models feature minimal kickback with the highest accuracy. One targeted pulse of electricity can disable attackers at medium to short range, non-lethally and quietly. And even a sustained fire won't do shit. Glorified tasers, barely suitable as party favors for anxiety-stricken college kids. Well, hopefully not too quiet. I want someone to run to my rescue. Of course. Would you like to take a look at our mag rails? Bullseye. We're proud to offer a number of models that utilize the latest in miniaturized ultra-capacity batteries to generate a Lorentz force which slings a slug fast enough to miss the limb at over 30 meters. To shoot or to kill. And it's safe? Of course, ma'am. My bad. Two-factor safeties with GPS and emergency services sync. It won't go off unless you want it to, and someone will definitely come running. All those convenient safety features make it incredibly easy for the police or anyone who can dupe their toolset to lock you out of your own gun with the flip of a switch. You couldn't walk a piece like that down a single uptown street without passing through 9 or 10's no fire zones. The very worst, most useless spot kinds of weapon a criminal could buy. Sounds perfect. Why does it feel like every desk I run into has to be such a character? Mercifully, it's tucked away while the fabricator tucks itself away while the fabricators get the gun tagged. I got time to kill, so is there anything worth checking out in the shop? Yeesh, would it kill you to clean up a little? Guess a desk kindly asking customers not to litter can only get you so far if you're not willing to pay someone to sweep up. Wait, is this trash? This flyer, it's scannable? Stagnancy theory? Really? They've got a lot of self-proclaimed philosophers here. There's another link at the bottom, probably leading to a collection dish. Or a state honeypot if you want to be paranoid. They better burn this shit before some neat freak picks it up and gets arrested. Hate these kinds of screens. Gotta look at them with your nose turned up or else they start eye tracking. Next thing you know is they're saying hello on a first name basis. But I've got practice with sort of things. I can skim the headlights. Why the 12-6 work week gives us more free time than ever. I'm 14 and I tried dating a smart UI. It made me the happiest that I've ever been. How term limits are anti-democracy. Woof. Transfusion from warm android saves soldier's life. That's one hell of a headline. If the Animate 16 wasn't selling well before, I'm sure by now it's... Someone left a data pad out here. What's in the news today? Serial data thief, most commonly known as Lobo, siege a cache of vital keystones belonging to the Tetrametallics group. In a blitz of cross posts on 90 different socials, translated to all dominant languages, 11 dominant languages, the hacktivist, radical conservationist, and gentleman thief made it clear the intent to ransom this file back to their lawful owners at no severe cost. Though the posts were quickly flagged in quarantine thanks to user reports, Lobo's latest manifesto, which we have decided to publish here on grounds of journalistic integrity, which we have declined to, and the strong language contained within, has since remained in the circulation thanks to a loose network of rogue data harbors. In addition to a sizable monetary ransom, Lobo put out a list of demands that spanned pages. Most among them was a call of de-escalation of all conflicts surrounding rare earth metal deposits around the equator. Tetra confirmed or deny impacted only their billing services, but did not insist that the corporation could not in good faith resume distribution until the ransom situation was resolved. Market prices for rare earth metals surged following the hacking attack as the supply halted and demand rose, choked by memories of catastrophic supply chain disruption in the mid-21st century. A spokesperson for Mining is Progress, a lobbying group that represents the rare metal earth, called Lobo's repeated attacks acts of terror against the free market. This sounds awfully familiar, doesn't it? Lobo, again, or someone using that name. Having the notification pisses me off. I'm OCD like that. Doesn't matter if they're the original or not, so long as they're a genuine threat. It does seem consistent with Lobo politics, making demands for the big bad wolf was here. We tried to process your request, but Lobo beat our ass till we ragdolled. You're welcome for clearing out this cache of soy slop before it could clog your brain arteries any further. To whatever dumbass dishwasher script they yelled at to come fix this, a word of advice from your superior. I own that password suggestion algorithm. Want to re-secure? Try this. Relax your shoulders, stand up from your desk, take a deep breath, and firebomb your own servers. Literally cheaper for you at this point. For the rest of you slack-jawed scream lobotomites looking for a little excitement in their search history, find a pig and rip their throat out. That'll teach you how to run with the wolf. Base? It's not the first time Lobos voiced their displeasure with the decades-old simmer of conflict around the tropics, but unless rare earth metals makes powering all our batteries and fueling all our pretty little androids suddenly less rare overnight, I doubt the state will start taking an interest in those regions' politics anytime soon. There's some kind of news program playing on the screen. Most public places are too scared to put anything more political than the smiling micro apartment, but this is a gun store. Power is always political. Wait, how long has it been? Shouldn't take them that long to get my gun properly bugged. I'm sorry, we've reached a breaking news story. We're seeking confirmation and lead programmer and designer of the Turing solution, Dr. David Asher, has passed. What? Proprietary Vantage automated dependent system along with the Animate series of androids. Must be some kind of corporate propaganda tactic, or no, they wouldn't risk. Fake news, but why? Misinformation, maybe. Trying to... David Asher is dead? Including the popular Death series of Smart UIs. That's very sad. I didn't ask. Sorry, I just... Commands only. Understood. Will you be paying with cash or credit? Debit. Damn, she's not even gonna let the guy grieve for their creator. The gun was lighter than I expected. A real gun should always be heavy, greater than the sum of its parts. That's one of the things I like about them, their weight. Like they're anchoring the world around them, like they're a fixed point in time. Like everything else is just relative to them, either closer or further to the end. I would like something heavier during my walk back to the apartment. I would like something to feel far away from. Oh. Didn't realize home until my hand was on the door. What is this? What am I doing? What am I doing? Fumbling in my pocket for my lighter. Golden, polished, tastefully ergonomic and fine and expensive, and a good lighter. It was a good gift. I kept the card, didn't I? Here it is. To the only smoker in my life, I know gold's a bit much for your personal style, but they don't make a lot of these anymore. Believe it or not, the only other people who share your vice are stuffy old men with bad, expensive taste. Hope you can manage to get some use out of it anyway. Your friend, David. He's fucking dead. The news might have more information by now. Alright, let's look at the net. Looks like the nest full of copy-paste statements from Noble. Auto-edited montages, ill-fitting quote. Reactions to the news from every micro-celebrity under the sun. Their raw, authentic emotion brought to you live from all the car seats and bathroom mirrors of the world. But there's nothing about his death, not even a time window. Did he die this morning? Was he found in his bed? Has he been dead for days while Noble was just been waiting for the right time to let him leak? Or did he die last night while I was out screwing around? A phone call better not be work-related. I'm not in the right mood. Oh, hey, Morgan. Thanks for picking up so fast. She's Jessica Starling. Who asked me to call her? Hi, Jess. Listen, I need to... I've already seen the news. What? Oh, of course you have, duh. I'm sorry I didn't tell you sooner, just with the company and their people and all the... What I mean is, if it were up to me, you would have been the first call I made. For a decision like that to be up to David's decision, about 1,000 other Noble employees above her on the ladder would have to get axed, but... It's alright, Jess. Nobody really knows what to do with these kind of things. Still, I'm sorry you had to hear it from a stream Chiron. What difference does it make how the information gets to me? I could have stumbled upon his corpse and I would have feel mostly the same. Well, I appreciate you taking the time to call anyway. Yeah. If I want more information, she's the best source I'm gonna get, maybe for weeks. What to ask at a time like this? I'm supposed to express denial first, but she's probably short on time, and I don't feel like following the playbook to the letter right now. Can you tell me what happened? The police, they think that he took something. Suicide? And the police are already involved? They say it was some kind of poisoner. Noble's got a lot of weight to bludgeon the state with, especially in the city. I would think they'd keep the police at arm's length for at least a few days. Listen, Morgan, I need to ask something of you. Of course, Jess, whatever you need. Whatever you need, a bit much, but she's grieving. This is just how people talk. And it's not like my day was really salvageable anyway. I'd like you bring you up here to David's place. There's something I have to give you. You're not handling his will already, are you? If the police are involved, it'll be a while before... No, I'm sorry, it's not like that. No, please don't hold back on my account. David asked me to get this into your hand. It wasn't work-related, but he asked me. I know I'm asking a lot here, but since it turned out to be the last thing you ever asked me to do, I'd like to get it done. I don't like showing up at crime scenes more often or more... But that's when I only have to worry about the police. With Noble looming over all this, security will be doubled and scrutiny tripled. This is too risky. There's no logical reason to agree to a request. Swing by my place with a cab, yeah? Besides my own morbid curiosity. Right, of course. Thanks, Morgan. Thank you. Wait, I almost forgot. You don't happen to have anything you could wear in black, do you? The autocab hums a synthesized purr as our on-ramp merges into a canopy superhighway, steadily and suddenly all at once. Not much super about it, but it does cast one hell of a shadow. The canopies always felt very arts and crafts to me, cobbled together, always added onto, never finished, never planned. But the end result's still ugly, and it feels like it could fall apart at any moment. You okay, Morgan? You look a little carsick. I'm fine, thanks for asking. But if I ignore a text now... Which? Hey, Freckles. Saw your friend Asher on the news. Rip. Thank you. For trying to be sincere. Worth a shot. We all have our strengths. God damn, you are a passive-aggressive little girl. Why does all your filial pity go out the window whenever you talk to me? Filial piety doesn't work on you. You love yourself too much to appreciate respect. True to went the train. See, Freckles, you can be very insightful when you aren't too busy side-eyeing the whole world. Wonder where I picked that up from. Not from me, ha ha ha. I'm pretty sure you were born muttering insults under your breath. The nurses tried to make you cry, and you responded by giving them self-esteem issues. Did you ever have dealings with Noble? 10 out of 10 shift in the convo. Subtle as a car crash. Subtlety doesn't work on you either. Well, it might if you were good at it. This is me asking you for advice. Okay. I guess this never sunk in. Since you spent most of your apprenticeship asleep. I mean, my clients were all celebs. The rich and famous. I didn't have that many dealings with the Megs that own their likenesses. Is it really that different? Plenty. Celebs don't like people seeing their dirty side, so they pay smart people like me to clean up their messes. But Megs don't like people seeing them at all, period. And also, Megs are a lot more lively when it comes to fucking. Okay. Hard workers with a lot of stress to vent. Ha 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 ha. Do you have any actual help to offer? Truth be told, I did have this one run where I got... Why? Because I caught... What? God damn it. Hard worker. A lot of stress to vent. Glad to know I could always reach out to you at my time of need. I'm gonna let that slide because I know you're in mourning. Look. Corporate types are all a bunch of paranoid drug addicts, puffing glue and playing roulette on their phones, while fantasizing about stabbing everyone else in the meeting to death. So don't expect them to play nice just because Asher was your pal. My actual advice is, get whatever you're owed, and then get out of there fast as fuck, boy! That's a beautiful thought, Auntie. I mean it. Corporations prefer Viking funerals. What's a Viking funeral? A dignified ceremony where the bodies set out to sea on a boat. Then, they set everything on fire and sink the ashes to the bottom of the ocean. Try not to linger, Freckles. You don't want to be stuck on board when they start knocking their arrows. Thanks. But what the hell was that about me sleeping on the job? I worked harder in one day than any of you Gen Alpha drunks did all week. Should've worked smarter, lol. And if you want to go there, you literally did fall asleep on the job at the Christmas party. What is that? Why do you have that? It's not even accurate. Work parties are still work, Freckles. I only had my eyes closed because you old farts had your cameras flash on. Morgan, something wrong? You're sweating. Just deleting some spam. We got a couple more minutes of crawling through the canopies, guys, before we reach David's part of the city, Uptown, our better half. Gleaming opera houses and towering corporate apartments. Boutique shops with more cameras. Difficult to verify? What does that mean? Penthouses stacked upon penthouses in a frantic climb to the top of the rat pile. All ringed in by restaurants with long wait times and small serving sizes. The joke is that Uptown... The age on the witch profile? Oh, I didn't notice that. Difficult to verify. Uptown folks go most of the year without touching the street level. Not much of a punchline there, it's basically true. By now, his whole block must have been swarmed with cops, themselves surrounded by media and all encircled by onlookers. I could try and enjoy these last few moments of calm, but if the storm's coming my way, I'd rather use this time to try and fight my footing. Actually, Jess, if you got a second, I was curious about... I saw that headline, by the way, the one with where your warm android saved that soldier's life. Feels pretty good, don't you think? So the folks at the company must have been in high spirits lately, I take it. That's what I thought when I first heard about it, but... I don't know, maybe upper management's never happy. Because they're just riding sales harder than ever, pushing the traditional consumer market. I thought they'd start building a pitch for Congress the day the story dropped. A big patriotic campaign telling everyone why we need a contract for warm androids in the military. But I haven't heard about them moving staff around for anything like that. Maybe it's all above my pay grade. All the corporate power and money in the world, they're still joyless assholes that they won't even celebrate their victories. How many years did you and David work together? Well, I started with the company about 4 years ago. They offered me a temp contract when I was graduating. Noble's like a tech company, yeah. I was put in HR right in the middle of a hiring bust, so I spent 2 months on the Warrens. Done an aptitude test got me fast-tracked to mid to low management. Sorry, Warrens? That's just what we called the company dorms back then, on account of the people. Plus, it was underground. Didn't see the sun that first month. My skin got so dry. Is that normal in your industry? Normal for everyone I've ever worked with, except David, of course, but I mean, he was the best. One Tuesday morning, Dr. David Asher walked right up to my desk like I won the lotto. Said I should come to work for him, Dr. David Asher, directly, on a random Tuesday morning like it was nothing. He didn't like to do things on Mondays. Said people were always too tired to get anything done anyway. That's right, he did say that. I should know by now, right? 3 years of arranging meetings and keeping him organized. And occasionally straightening his tie. He was a good boss. He was a good guy. When did you last speak with him? In person? Thursday. Thursday afternoon. The day before yesterday. He seemed normal. I mean, we still don't really know anything, Jess. You're right, thanks. Thursday is the last time I saw him, and that was when he asked me to meet with you. I'm guessing you've already been to his place? Yeah, it's a real mess over there. It's that bloody? Oh god, no, not that kind of mess. I just mean with the cops stacked on the media, stacked on the lawyers. Every one of them with their own network of drones and all their droning. It's a very high productivity atmosphere is what I mean. When were you able to get over there? Well, I got a call from legal late last night. They weren't exactly delicate in breaking the news to me. Last night? They said they needed my help sorting through all his... Well, you know how we left things organized sometimes. He's been dead since last night and they kept it under wraps that long. I know there are a lot of powerful people in his circles, but to stop it from leaking from over 12 hours? That seems like more than just your typical powerful people trying to control the narrative. Seems more like there's something they're actively trying to suppress. So you found out last night. Last night? Oh god, I'm so sorry. I should have told you as soon as I found out. Really, it's alright. Did you see anything? No, I still haven't actually seen him at all. He was airlifted to the hospital ASAP, and that's where he passed. But I didn't get the impression that the cops had been there that long. Not compared to the lawyers. They and the rest of that company people seem pretty entrenched. Noble set up camp before the police even arrived. So what time would that have been? I guess I got there around 9 a.m. because at 9:15 they switched my phone to silo mode and I got locked out of everything but my work stuff. Sent my last blah at 9:13, see? Gonna expire whoever put in heels this morning. It me. They can do that to your phone? Lock you out of social media? Well, of course not. Well, unless I'm on the clock, or off the clock but on company property, then they can remote all my tech, yeah. So if I got in at 9 p.m., I guess the rest of the company people would have been there since 8:30. I can't have been there more than a few minutes before the mood changed. Word about the hospital declaring him dead had started to leak. He died after he reached the hospital? That's unexpected. It's 2086. You might have been able to get in trouble if you get stuck in a bureaucratic purgatory when you need to be in the emergency room, but other than that, if you reach the hospital alive, a good doctor can stabilize most patients within a few moments. A Noble Electronics lead programmer would have a very good doctor. So what the hell happened? Is she mistaken? Was he just not officially declared dead until reaching the hospital for some reason, or... Hard to think about, I know. Yeah, or hard to believe. Jess, I have to wonder, what kind of request did David make of you that couldn't wait a few days? Oh, right, of course. He asked me to give you something. Something? Is she trying to build suspense? Right, well, I don't know exactly what it is. You have no idea? He asked me to give you the contents of his safe. Are we headed to the bank then? No, see, he has this private safe in his basement. Maybe you've seen it? Well, I say safe, but I think it's more accurate to call it a storage locker or a false wall. And he told you that he wanted me to have what's inside. Right, he was very clear about that part. Your eyes only, straight into your hands. Handle it in person, he said. This is all pretty analog for someone as technically gifted as David. Coming from anyone else, I'd call it paranoid, but David was never paranoid, even when he had every right to be. If he wanted this handled a certain way, it must be for a good reason. So David asked you to do this on Thursday, correct? Yeah, Thursday. And he passed last night, Friday. Wait, you don't think that when we met he had already decided... It's not healthy to speculate on that sort of thing. More importantly, it's not helpful. The dead don't have anything to offer the living. I should know. You're probably right. Because, besides, we'll need to focus. Judging by the size of the crowd I'm looking at, it looks like about to jump into the thick of it. Everybody knows. And I thought there were a lot of police here before. Maybe too late to ask, but you're not bad with crowds, are you, Morgan? She's kidding, right? It's downright airy in here compared to what we just walked through. Wide eyes and clenched fists, heads peeking over shoulders around signs, police, both mechanical and warm-blooded, closing ranks with holograms and quick-set wires to close a severe perimeter, while protesters, mourners, fanatics, and busybodies shuffle about at the edges of the police line, the heat of their panic and anxiety washing over. Try to limit yourself to like 1 or 2. But that's not like a rule. Who the hell were all those people? Well, there were always people with strong feelings about our products. Androids stepping forward to the mob, gently, firmly, unfeelingly parting the human tide. Most with official police branding, but a few remotely deputized consumer models join them. All of them built by Noble. All of them built from David's code. All of them standing visual outside his tomb. This is all technically company property, isn't it? Yep, David had the penthouse all to himself, but every other floor tenants are Noble employees too. Not an uncommon arrangement in Uptown. Work at Noble, rent from Noble, wave hello to your Noble neighbor in the morning, and make sure to request a spot in line at the official company crematorium. They don't actually do that last part, I think. Does Noble handle employee funerary arrangements? Yeah, it's a pretty standard benefit, actually. It's pretty cheap for them compared to dental. You have to pay for benefits? But Noble's always been generous with benefits. Work hard and the company will have you set for life. And after. Both the state and Noble have gotten themselves entrenched here in the lobby. Security and damage control, and PR and liability. Everyone just glad to be working. I'm feeling a little overstimulated. Any chance we can just skip all these checkpoints? Haha, no, absolutely not. So who do we need permission from? The cops or the company? My request went through, so we should both have the go-ahead at this point. For both at this point. We don't need to go near the actual, Is this still called a crime scene if it's not technically a crime? I don't want to think about how many suits Noble's paying to debate that very question right at this very instant. David's vault is in the penthouse's basement, but we can't get to it from these ground floor elevators. We'll have to ride up straight to the rooftop Vernata, walk in his front door, and then head down. If just says we can do all that without stumbling across where he died, then... Including him? Hey, ladies, I'm awfully sorry. Oh, hey! But I'm afraid we're at capacity at the moment. Let anyone else by and we won't be able to maintain... Huh, you're that lawyer, Morgan. You caught me, detective. How long has it been? Feels like it's been ages. Oh, right, he was on to us. Oh, dear, not still bitter about our last encounter, I hope. I'll live. I don't see the spunky one around. You taking a mental health day to preserve that unflappable charm? Detective Reyes is around. Why? You miss her that bad? I've had blind pimples that were more endearing. You two know each other? Just Starling, meet homicide detective Quasim London. It's a pleasure, miss. As you may have acquainted, this detective and I are acquainted. Comes with a line of work. Morgan's being modest, sweetheart. We're practically blood. Something wrong, Starling? Oh, nothing wrong. But close as we are, I still can't let her walk in off the street and into the scene of an ongoing investigation. Even Noble's lawyers have to play by the rules today. Play by the rules, so there is a game afoot. What makes you assume I'm here in a professional capacity? You're a criminal defense attorney and we're at a crime scene. Call it an old man's intuition. Good detectives don't rely on intuition, though, do they? They rely on evidence. Oh, I don't rely on it, don't worry. I just need to lean on it every now and then when my back acts up. Guy gets a bit of gray in his hair and thinks it's a free pass to act like a goddamn cowboy. Well, I'm afraid your intuition is off this morning, Detective. I'm here on a private matter. The deceased wasn't your client? No, that would have been a conflict of interest. Conflict of you two knew each other. I see. In that case, allow me to give you my condolences. Thank you, but what I could really use is a bit of your help. You sure do rally fast. Yes. Right. We have this clear here, Detective, sir, from legal, which allows us to... That's right, little lady. I trust you. You can leave the paperwork holstered for now. Little lady? We aren't here for David, really. We won't be setting foot anywhere near your staging area, Detective. Alright, why not? I can afford to be generous today, because if I screw up, you gestures to the lobby full of student cops. Plenty of folks at hand ready to pick up the slack. Well, if you're that at ease, perhaps I could take you this time to ask you a few questions. Heck, you could always ask, Tiger. But I think you understand what I mean when I say whether or not I can answer is not entirely up to me. You're looking a bit haggard. How long have you been here? Since this morning, but civilized folks don't call it morning when the streetlights are still on. Until hours after Noble had their lay of the land. Sounds like you could use a break. I could use a retirement package. Hey, you're a lawyer, right? According to all my business cards. Think I could sue for elder abuse? Not that kind of lawyer, sorry. You would lose, though. I already regret asking. Why'd they got a homicide detective losing sleep over this? A man... is dead, and he wasn't killed by fire, a vehicle, organized criminals, or disinformation. As far as we know. So at the moment, homicide's not technically the worst fit. But we're leading in name only. A high-profile death like this, everyone's got their eyes on us, and a hand placed firmly on the back of our neck. I've been checking my phone, but the only thing the news seems to agree on is that David passed away. Sorry, but if you're asking for details, no thank you. For not letting them make this into a parade. Yet. We do our best to respect the privacy of anyone involved with an ongoing investigation. He declined to say victim. Detective, Dr. Asher was a close friend of mine for many years. He trusted Morgan more than anyone. Can you tell me if he killed himself? It looks like that's the case. I see. Thank you for telling me that. Dr. Ash. Yeah, you're well. Sorry. Another round of guarded words. David was an important man, and it has only been a few hours. But all this tiptoeing gives me the feeling that whatever happened to David wasn't cut and dry. You boys and Noble all getting along with each other, sharing your toys? Some of the younger ones are bristling, but I always play well with others, Counselor. And how well do the Megs play with you? Do they give you full access to the security building? Megs is a derogatory and hateful term used to refer to corporations. Anti-industrial sentiment. Oh, we live in a society. They give you full access to building security. They've given us access and they say it full. Serving penumbra. The size of the data stream is fragile. It'll be a while before we can start making sense of it all. A more conspiratorial man might think that was intentional. Bury us in data and we hope we're too swamped to find whatever they're trying to hide. Maybe. The penumbra pulls data from any androids connected to a building's net, but that's not help sense, since there weren't any androids in the penthouse. You know, I'd heard the rumors, never put much stock in them, but it's true. Asher never owned a single android? Never. Well, I suppose I might do the same if however the genius who programmed them all. Every time they opened their mouth, it'd just be his own lip service refracted 1,000 times over, echoing back at him from a mask he carved. So that means all you have to investigate with are the penthouse security cameras. Yeah, but that should be more than enough to wrap up a case like this. In a good way, I mean. We're very much on top of this, ladies. David was one of the biggest names in tech. He was the face of Noble Electronics. One could argue androids are only as common as them because of his contributions to the field. So do you think anyone would want to hurt him because of that? Remind me, which one of us is the detective again? You really won't let me pick your brain? You already know the answer. Yes, ads are controversial. Androids especially. We at Noble are aware that our products sometimes are subject of heated debate, but no need to quote the handbook at us, miss. Truth be told, I've never really understood the hate. It's not that complicated, is it? How many people have lost their job to an ADD once in their career? Every last one of them lost their jobs because their bosses, their flesh and blood bosses, fired them. Nah, ads are just a symptom. Scrap that. Ads are just a product. Getting mad at them is pointless. And vandalizing them is less than pointless because unlike us, they're all insured. And besides, Android production has surged over the last decade to become one of the nation's biggest exports. 2. Nice to have at least one thing we make in this country. Noble only outsources the production of a small handful of internal compartments. Every other part of the manufacturing process is done right here at home. I doubt that everyone considers the specifics of Noble's supply chain to be a point of national pride, but you don't need a political science degree to see how much the state values Noble's contributions to the national economy. Now, listen, I don't mind being helpful, and I am trying to be sensitive, but we really do have a lot of our hands on the moment, so I'm going to have to ask you to be discreet, and ideally fast. Well, our business is just in the basement, David's basement. But the penthouse is on the top floor, the roof, so the basement would be second to last floor if you want to be technical detective. The point is, we don't need to go in the kitchen or the parlor. We'll go straight back to his workshop and then head downstairs. The kitchen and the parlor. I understand, but I'd like to escort you two ladies there myself. Wow, an escort like royalty. Isn't he a gentleman? Huh? Yes, he's... Lead the way, detective. Shooter's word. London ushered us past the chattering suits and humming drones to the checkpoint and into the elevator. As it climbed to the sky, we got a good look at the growing throng of people outside and its shifting makeup. Seems like it's mostly protesters now, or worse, brand loyalists. Idiots led around by the nose overlay, following the musk of whatever trend is laid out before them. Today's trail having led them here, for half reasons they couldn't even put into words if their lives depended on them. They're like insects. And they look like them from up here. They're probably already preparing their spin. The misunderstood genius of Dr. Asher, a video essay in 5 parts. Why the company insisted on cultivating such a following for him, I've never understood. They could easily have pinned his achievements on someone more remarkable, some random photogenic employee or fashion model with glasses. David wouldn't have minded. He never wanted the attention, the chaos. Maybe it's as simple as bad luck. He just happened to have the right look for the part. A man buried in his work with his eyes fixed ahead. This is, what? His laboratory? His shop, he called it. How down to earth. It's messy in here. David was always disorganized. Why a programmer needed to make such a mess just to run tests on computers, I'll never... But sloppy as he could be, he didn't like it when other people saw it. If he was leaving things like this, he must not have entertained any guests down here in some time. Thanks for all your help, Detective London. Don't mention it. What, you want me to step out? Not lacking for boldness, are you? Look, I have to take a phone call. We'll be in and out as soon as possible, promise. And whatever Dr. Ash wanted, wanted set aside for his foundation, so we'll be sure to flag it. Right. At least she's already wearing gloves. If we find a dead body, you'll be our first call. Morgan, what's that stuff about his foundation? Dr. Ash's charity has always been managed by an outside group. You haven't spent a lot of time around crime scenes, have you? Actually, this is my first. Well, generally speaking, it's not really common to retrieve things from the premises while the cops are busy searching them. Look, if David has something to give to me, we can all go get it. We just can't make a ton of noise about it, understand? Right. The phrase is quiet as a church mouse, but... Cut myself. I'm okay. But now doesn't seem the time to correct her. David's shop was a mess, but the mess felt familiar. It was very David. Coming down here, I barely recognized the place. For starters, it's a goddamn gym. David hated exercise, always claimed that he didn't have time for it. Even when I got on that treadmill and the subscription for the personal coaching routine with the scheduling subroutine, said he couldn't find the time. And even when I explained to him that the program accounted for all that and adapted to his schedule, he still... Morgan, what's up? You're smiling. What's so funny? Nothing. Just surprised to see the place renovated. Yeah, you actually had me on mail tag with a couple contractors a while back. Never thought I'd have to learn so much about concrete and wiring and marble. Did you know marble needs to be treated or else the air will start to corrode it? I didn't know that. Is that true? Wait, is it not? But a guy told me that without an epoxy finish, the entire bar table could. Is that the vault over there then? Yeah, stands out, I guess. Ha ha ha. Nervous? What's that? Oh, a little, I guess. But the inhaler helps mostly, so... Are you gonna open it? Don't you know the combination? No, I do not know the combination to David's basement vault. Oh no, how could I have? He didn't tell you or to give you a code? He gave me the code to get into the building, and into the parking garage, but not the code to whatever this is. Okay. You know, there were a lot of scattered papers back in his shop. Could he have left you a note on one of them? Yes, he could have. He would have. In fact, I think he probably did. You just stay right there, Morgan. I'll have this settled in a sec. Right then. Well, it's definitely locked. Looks like it's a Tetris basic structure, anti-hack, anti-digital, high-rated code panel. Nothing basic about it, but at least I can see only 1 million possible combinations. Slim chances, but why the hell would I give it a shot? Nothing's happening. Okay, that was dumb. I don't really want to dwell on why I thought that could work. There's a different terminal over here. Counter security systems, according to the label. The password protected, and the code's 64 digits long. What's the point of a camera system that's harder to crack than your literal vault, you eggheaded? Okay, yeah, a programmer probably would care more about his IoT than what he can fit in the safety deposit box. Guess it's the 6-digit vault or nothing, but I'm a lawyer, not a lockpick. And whatever other felonies I get up into my private time, I've never pulled off a bank heist before. Only tool I've got here is my head. So what do I know? I know whatever David put in the safe he wanted to keep secure, and I know he wanted me to have it. So maybe he thought ahead. Maybe he guarded it in such a way that I would be the only one that could get to it. David liked games, and he really liked beating me. So he's left one last puzzle for me. I don't mind going another round. It's a pretty serious looking set of resistance training equipment, and these weights, they're all set near the max. If Noble hadn't appointed him with a nutritionist along with his stylist, David would be outright scrawny. There's no way he was putting up these numbers, in which case the digits on the waist could clue, but there's too many and I can't guess the order. So what the hell, Asher? Did you just set all these weights to max because it looked more neat? It's a very big painting. And it's impressionist. No, cubicle. Yeah, cubicle. That sounds right. Whatever the style, I do remember that David liked this painting. If there was a date on it, that could be a 6-digit password. Maybe signing your work was considered gauche among the cubicleists? This must be a spare liquor cabinet. Damn, there's a lot of good stuff in here, and a lot of bottom shelf swill. The kind of bargain bin vodka and nose burner whiskey that only an underground programmer would love. And it sounds just sweet like that. Overpowering. 1 part per million could cover up even the cheapest aftertaste. David's wine collection, still towering over the room. Don't know why I'd buy so many bottles. He didn't particularly like the stuff, maybe just to fill out all these shelves. But not all the bottles are untouched. Some of them don't have dust on them at all. There's a mechanism for retrieving bottles on the rack. The latest bottle chosen was a Moody Camp 81. Could be significant. Except vintages only list the year they were bottled, not the month of day. It's not enough digits for the code. This flooring's a new addition. Looks rough like sandpaper, but it's bouncy, rubberized. Feels like something you drag on your feet at the gym or a factory floor. It's more high performance than high class. Expensive, but not in the way you'd expect for a penthouse. Scratch that, it's actually cracked here. Rubbing doesn't break, it bends. So someone must have cheapened out during the installation and left a defect in. That, or David left a jackhammer. No dice. $81. Damn it. Alright, I'm asking Ambi. You think you saw it? What is it? It's 6 characters. Just the numbers? Oh, wait! Oh! There we go. What do you mean? $11.25.58. Okay. A password that is and isn't left in plain sight. Nice one. Hey, Morgan, what? How did you get it open? What is that? A girl with a barcode emblazoned across her temple. Required by law to be plainly visible. It's an android, clearly marked as such, and even standing this close I could swear it's snoring? I step forward and place the back of my wrist. Warm. It must be a prototype for the Animate 16, or maybe a prototype for the 17 or 18, a biomechanical android with real human flesh. But it's organic flesh, not human. They grow from lax Gemini cultures. Sorry, I misspoke. You seem surprised, Jess. Hasn't Noble been working on warm androids for years now? Warm androids like this one? I mean, yes. She is my favorite character design so far, this robot. I love her design. This particular model is very cutting edge. Bleeding edge by the flesh on those cheeks. I think it's safe to say we found what we're looking for. That presents a problem then. Do you not approve? I've got nothing against androids. My concern is a bit more immediate and, well, practical. I don't know how to turn it on. Do you see a switch? Can we turn it around, or... A little less give than I expected given its frame, but the rigidities... I press my hand on the shoulder and give it a shake. This thing has to weigh more than... Right, androids mostly transport themselves, so people are always surprised to find out they're a bit heavier than they look. There's no way in hell we're moving this thing without waking it up. Crap, first the vault, now this. I was able to guess the combination just by finding this junk's power switch should be child's play, and I know where to start. Jess, I'm gonna step back into the lab for a moment, okay? Okay, sure, there's gotta be a manual around here. Good idea, it might be some kind of prototype, but it's still got a barcode. Maybe you could scan its GIN number and a generic identification number. Fake GIN barcodes. Yeah, of course. All generic ID numbers should be paired with the industry standard files on maintenance, tracking, power. I doubt that the enigmatic android taking catnap in a sarcophagus in David Asher's basement would have a usual manual. I'm okay. Broke a heel, but I'm okay. I carry glue. And I'd rather search the lab by myself. Boom. Boom. Now then, if I were David and I wanted to make sure that only one person would be able to walk out of here with that android, how would I set that up? Haven't seen one since college, but this must be a 3D printer of some sort. It feels expensive wanting to make other printers look like soda fountains by comparisons. Better not mess with any of the settings. Diagrams of the human anatomy. The hands are highlighted. The most developed part of the human body, good for making stone axes and sending emails. Robots and frames can do just fine without claws or 3-digit imitation, but androids are expected to look like people and move like them too. Getting the hands right must be a big priority at Noble. That tree-like shape on the right is a neuron. Those branches receive input of varying weight, and then if the sum is carried down, the neuron fires. The zero becomes 1, and all the other zeros around it take that into consideration. Repeat that a couple billion times and you've got the human brain, a computer power enough to simulate all of reality. That's the analogy I read in a magazine anyway. Looks like a fairly normal computer. If I'm lucky, the security will be fairly normal as well. David Asher? Morgan? Guest? Thanks for logging in as a guest. It couldn't recognize my voice, so I can probably rule out a vocal command being the key to waking the android. Do you have a question? What should I search for on the computer? Search files for Morgan. 23 results on the local drive. Mostly phone book and social data, but I don't recognize this file type. Some kind of personnel? Date of birth, education, occupation, blood type, height, and weight? Alright buddy, a little invasive, don't you think? DNA and fingerprints? Now why do you have that, David? My DNA isn't in any database. I've made sure of that. So he couldn't have bought this anywhere. He must have collected it from a wine glass or the like. It would have been easy to do. But why do it? These appear to be holding tanks for something. How should I know? No labels on anything. Typical for a genius, but a nightmare for anyone trying to pick up after him. It's a lot more hard science than I expected in here. Centrifuges and glass and microscopes. Don't programmers do all their work with a keyboard? Alright, I'm starting to get a pretty clear picture of what it'll take. I've got the what. For where and how, I'll just have to manage. It's still just a piece of machinery. If it really won't turn on, I can always start hitting it. There you are. I've looked into every registry and database I can get into, but I don't think this android is in the system. An android without the proper identification is... It's only buying or selling the android without proper identification, and it doesn't seem like he ordered this online. We'll have it registered soon enough anyway. I think I figured out what we need to do here. If David really wanted me to have this, he must have left some way for me to turn it on. David has my fingerprints and my DNA on file. By requiring both, he could have been reasonably sure that no one was powering up this android without my approval. You've done a swab before, right? Every month for the company. Apparently they're building a database of employee epigenetics cross-referenced with my DNA and fingerprint make the key. Now where to find the lock? Kiss her. The lips are one of the more sensitive parts of the body. Still not doing it, huh? Oh man, you went right in there. Are you touching the tongue? It's blinking at me. Kiss her! Yuri? Good morning. Good morning. Good morning to you too. Hello, I've never seen you two before. I guess we should introduce ourselves then. Oh, hi. This is Jessica Starling. She works for Dr. Asher. I'm Morgan, a friend of hers. I understand her. She is Jessica Starling and you are Morgan, last name unknown? No, Morgan is my last... Father told me about you. Aw, he did? Wait, father? David, you had to call you daddy? I'm referring to Dr. David Asher. Are you confused? That's not the word I'd use. I throw a bone beyond the grave for the doctor, good doctor, and just move this along. Did David say that he was giving you to me, transferring ownership? Ownership? That is correct. And what else did... Mostly correct. And what else did he tell you? Many things. That conversation was the first thing David figured out how to program. Did Dr. Asher tell you anything that he wanted you to convey to Morgan? A message that you were supposed to ask on? Jess, I think it's trying to... Oh, okay, sure, I'll give you some privacy, Morgan. I've actually got about 14 messages in the last few minutes, so... I'll just head back to the lab to make some calls, okay? Yes, thank you, Jess. Just the two of us now. So what do I call you? My name is Sarah. It's nice to meet you, Morgan. Trust me, the pleasure's all mine. So what's the message? Father told me that I would be living with you from now on, and then he told me that you would look after me. Shouldn't it be the other way around? Should it? A model this lifelike with warmth and breath and something close to blood in its veins. You forgot my name already? It's Sarah. What were you built for? You're warm, obviously. You're not one of those physical therapy models, are you? That would be highly illegal. I haven't completed 100 hours of study at a state-approved massage therapy school. I haven't even completed 1 hour. What purpose did Dr. Asher design you for? I don't know the answer to that question. Should I? How could you not? Do you? Would I be asking you if I did? I mean, do you know why you were created? Why you were born? Why? Why me? Why are you doing this? You're a freak. A monster. What the hell's wrong with you? Please don't kill me. Please. Why? Why was a monster like you ever born? Do we have a traumatic backstory? Guess I walked into that one. I was starting to wonder if you even had the Turing solution. The answer to the Turing test. Father's framework for programming linguistics in an artificial system, and the body of work from which he first gained international recognition. Do you have an answer to my question? An answer as to why you were created, why you exist? Occam's razor. I'm here because my parents wanted me. I see, then I will give a similar answer. I was created because Father wanted to create me. Can't argue with that logic, can I? Can't argue with that logic. Father did say that you're a lawyer. You're a lawyer, and I defeated you with logic. World-class, high-power attorney, the best defense money can buy. So do you catch criminals? That's what cops do. Do you litigate criminals? That's what prosecutors do. Then do you fight for the underrepresented, expose injustice, sue corrupt corporations and officials? I don't think anyone does that anymore. I'm a criminal defense attorney. A defender of the innocent and powerless. Now that you know all about me, what can you tell me about yourself? I've never had to do that before. First time for everything. How old are you? I'm not sure I can give a satisfactory answer. 0 for 2 on answering simple questions. What's your date on your earliest memory? Where are you constructed or assembled or whatever? What facility? I was not constructed at any facility. Father created me here by himself. You're saying that if I took you apart, I wouldn't be able to find any markers from any manufacturers, any IDs of any designer? You want to take me apart? David was a programmer, not an engineer. How could he build a custom android from scratch in the comfort of his own home? He couldn't have. He must have had help. Probably a whole department's worth. If I asked around, there's someone who in the company who could ID this thing and help me figure out what's so important about it. You don't look like android I've ever seen. This body is comprised of organic tissues integrated directly into the cybernetic system. They require organic nourishment, including water, carbohydrates, and salt. Wait, warm androids have to eat and drink? They could not be worth that much trouble. My cybernetic systems are largely as analogs to the equivalents in the human body. I have a respiratory system for oxygen exchange and a centrally located pump that circulates oxygen. You mean you've got a heart? How quaint, but where does all that extra weight come from? I tried moving you early and it felt I was pulling a truck. My skeleton is a combination of medical grade plastics and a milligrade titanium carbide alloy. My muscles are made with adaptive rare earth alloy nanoweave fiber and shock absorption and kinetic... Wait, did you say military grade? I have the grip strength of above 1,000 kilograms. I can run at a sustained speed of over 60 kilometers per hour. I can jump 6 meters vertically. I can lift approximately... I'm not sure what kind of grip strength most androids are walking around with, but I've never seen any of them move the way they're talking about. Even the way it stands there, it seems to be poised, controlled, spring tight, strength and flexibility like a ballerina or a gymnast. Enough to flip over a tank, lifelike enough to avoid detection. As long as it never stepped on a scale would make for the perfect infiltration unit. The perfect weapon if you could keep its development a secret. Did David put something that heavy on my plate? Dismantling a military prototype in secret? Are you deep in thought? But a military infiltration android would look more crew-cut and forgettable. And would David really depose personal time in an effort just to make another weapon for the military? I have other features I could tell you about if you like. If I shot you, would you die? It would be very painful and there'd be a discharge of fluid, but conventional weapons would not prove particularly effective. That thing settles it. This thing's a weapon, sure as I... Would you like to know about my hair? I'm impressed you noticed. Each fiber contains miniaturized solar cell lattice technology, allowing me to remain charged throughout the daytime. That must come in handy. I actually haven't had the chance to use it yet. This room has ambient wireless charging functionality, and I haven't gone outside much. Okay, maybe it's not a weapon after all. You're just a pincushion, are you? I'm not familiar with the term. Searching. Pincushion, jargon, design, reverse the prototype filled with to check for compatibility issues. Was with odd new technologies and seemingly pointless additions, the end result being a singular unsellable android that wasn't particularly good at anything and would break down after only a few years. You see them as time capsules, filled with the designer's most outlandish ideas and least reproducible results. But even the most nonsensical pincushions are built via committee, with numerous engineers and programmers adding their pet functions. This android before me claims to have been built by one man. A man who is now... It seems we got off track there, Sarah. Was there anything else David told you? Besides that you were to look after me, he's also told me that if you were reliable, then I should trust you. He said that I were to listen to you and obey your instructions. As you say, Adonai. What's that? That word you just called me. What was that? Adonai. From classical Hebrew. Translated literally, it means my lord. Don't call me that. Why'd David use Hebrew, though? Abrahamic myths tells us servants constructed out of earth and clay, designed to resemble and obey their masters, golems. Father must have found the comparison appropriate. Amusing, more likely. It's just a joke. Father would not make light of such thing. Sure he would. Perhaps we should ask him to clarify his reasoning for himself. Where is Father, by the... Oh, shit. When's the last time you were active? 38 hours ago. Thursday night, then. Right. David Asher is dead. He died last night. Understand? How? May I see him? See him? No, I won't be able to see him. Funeral's probably not for a few days. He was not sick. I don't feel like doing the whole song and dance with 2 robots in one day. That's very charming, but let's go to commands only. What happened? Did he have an accident? Does it not recognize my authority yet? The police have determined that he committed suicide. For the time being, we have to focus on getting you properly registered. Maybe then you'll take commands the first time I say them or not. The police are wrong. They are wrong. Father did not commit suicide. He would never do such a thing. Father had, he told me, look, Sarah, I'm sorry. You're sorry? Father said he was your friend. How are you so calm? I've been around death a lot, so don't try to lecture me about grief, spearmint. My name is Sarah, but you will use it because Father, Dr. David Asher, the greatest programmer in the world, gave it to me, and he did not kill himself. Let's say you're right. David didn't commit suicide. If that's the case, the police will realize that soon enough. The police have already made their determination. That's what you just said. Father said that you were a lawyer, that you were capable, unreliable, and a friend. You should be looking into his death. Is that an order? Of course not. It is a request. A request that I'll have to refuse. The police have their job and I have mine. If I stick my nose into their investigation any further, they'll come down on me hard. Cops don't like lawyers on principle, but what they really hate is people who tell them how to do their job. Father asked you to look after me. He also said that you need to obey me, but you don't seem quite as fixated on that part. And he said something else. He said that you owed him a favor. One favor. The thin ice starts here, Spearmint. That was between him and me. Father is gone, so now it is between you and I am calling in the favor now. You don't have to take care of me anymore. Consider that request null and void. You could send me to some collector, or you can donate me to a university. It doesn't matter. In exchange, you will prove Father didn't kill himself, and you will make sure whoever hurt him is held accountable. It's you and me, not you and I. You and me. David would roll over in his grave if he knew you had gotten that wrong. It was not my intention to amuse or rotate. No, that's for damn sure. Fine, I'll take that deal, Sarah. You mean you will prove that Father did not... I mean, I'll look into it. I'm a lawyer. I don't prove anything. I just disprove what I can. Then where do we start? I didn't realize you had a law degree. I do not have a law degree, but I'm a fast learner. This isn't a job interview, and I'm far from useless. I'm a defense attorney, not a police detective, and David was my friend, not my client. I won't be able to poke around at all unless... Can you tell a lie? I am capable of making statements that are false. Guess that'll do. Are you going to ask me to lie? Yes, to the police, in fact. Lying to the police is a felony. Androids don't commit felonies, they make errors. I see. What kind of error did you have in mind, Adonai? Are you sure about this? You have questions too, don't you? Right now I'm a little better equipped to get all the answers than you are. Okay, go for it. I'll make sure they're watching. Is the air quality at Noble Standards cut up to the state standards? All the Noble employees seem to have asthma. Was Father also working under such poor condition? They don't have asthma. Then why are all of them carrying inhalers? A stimulant. It's drugs. They're all on drugs. Yes, ma'am. She's right over here. Oh, it's you. Oh, it's you. Did I mess up? On the contrary. Eyes wide. She's a DA. Quiet. She succeeded spectacularly in getting Noble's ears pricked up. Emma Rockford. Didn't think I'd run into you here. Yeah, I didn't think I'd be either, but the powers that be think my presence sends a message to the Meg, so... No, wait, what are you doing here? I see, I'm sorry for your loss. Thank you for saying that. And thank you, Detective Reyes, for your many, many kind words. We all can't be as talkative as you. Normally, quoting poetry would feel pretentious, but you were so genuine in your reading. Bite me. I don't know if there's a need for all that. Very mature detective. Did you come up with that yourself? No, that's Kaguya's signature pose. Like the pop star? I don't know what you're talking about. You could admit it if you do. Well, there's nothing to admit because I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know who that is. Wait, now you're saying you don't know who Kaguya is? She's the most famous. Yeah, well, I don't know what that is, so... Ma'am, weren't you about to say something? Oh, yeah, well, I'm still surprised to see you here now. Are you helping plan the services? Actually, the company will be planning at Dr. Asher's funeral services. Wouldn't his family like to take care of that? No. I see, sorry, but if that's the case, why are you here, Morgan? Huh! Oh gosh, I'm sorry to disrupt your morning. You're here for the same reason as every other suit they've got crawling around. Money. You're not wrong. There are a lot of annoying insects with annoying agendas scurrying around before my friend's body is even cold. But the honest truth is I don't even know if David had a will. The company helped manage his estate. Legal is probably already on it. Judging by how much coffee that intern is carrying into the elevator, I'm certain they are. Right, so if you're not here for the funeral or the reading of the will... Mr. Starling asked me to come here, actually, on a matter unrelated to David's passing. An unrelated matter? That's convenient. Isn't it? But now that I am here, it comes to my attention that the police have made a determination in the case of David's death. Am I mistaken? No, you're right. They concluded that it was suicide. I was worried about that. Yeah, I'm sure you must be feeling... Because I'm gonna have to contest that charge. The state has made a charge. I'm arguing against it. What the hell are you talking about? The police have believed David committed suicide. Suicide is a felony in this country, detective. Really? It is technically a crime to commit suicide, yes, but we're not in the habit of bringing dead men to trial, especially not for their own murder, Morgan. No, not the trial, of course not, but there would be a preliminary hearing in a case like this. Technically, as a formality, assuming the courts aren't busy that day. I'm afraid that on this occasion, I'm going to have to insist on formality. Yeah, well, you really don't have much say in the matter. With David gone, I have the only say, really. I am, after all, his criminal attorney. All that money and he needs this drinking buddy to be his attorney? Bullshit. I'm also skeptical, Morgan. It's a pretty serious conflict of interest to be your friend's defense attorney. You're absolutely right. It is a conflict of interest, and I would have said that much to him if I had the chance. I only found out that he wanted me to be his attorney today. After he died? How the hell did you miss that memo? To be fair, it was hidden pretty well. Oh, I didn't know you had an android, Morgan. It's cute. Thanks, but it's actually David, and it's technically my witness. 38 hours ago, David Asher communicated to me as a matter of record the following explicit legal intent, that in the case that any and all criminal charges brought against him by the state, that the attorney would be Evangeline Morgan. We found out my first name! Evangeline? Evangeline? No, see, what are the close-ups on their tits for? Your name's Evangeline? Did your parents name you after a Christmas carol? Should we all be curtsying? It's not that funny. No, of course, nothing to be embarrassed about, Evangeline. Or do your friends call you Angel? I hear Kaguya's on tour, detective. Should I get you tickets? You could have your dad drive you like all the other 15-year-old Hey, feels like we're getting off topic. What were we just... I was telling you that David Asher wanted to be your criminal defense attorney. An android's recording of verbal expression intent isn't exactly ironclad, Morgan. And we were going before an upper-level court. I would expect that to be open to all kinds of scrutiny. But we're talking about a preliminary hearing, a formality, as you called it. If he asks for representation, he deserves representation. Doesn't matter if he's dead or alive. Am I missing something? What difference does it make? Not even an adjutant would be obtuse enough to sentence a dead man. No, there won't be a sentence, but the adjutant will render a verdict, and verdicts have consequences, even for the deceased. What's she getting at? If the court agrees that this was a suicide, that verdict will retroactively affect evaluations of the individual's mental health, like if he was in his right mind or not. You know anything about a state tax law? No, but I'm sure you'll be happy to teach me. An individual found by a court not to be of sound mind can very well give the consent of the lawyer drawing up their will. If his will is compromised, all of David's considerable assets would then suddenly be thrown into legal limbo, in which case the state would be legally obligated to come and pick up the pieces. So this is just about his money? What? For example, huh? Never mind. No, Starling, you should speak your mind. Alright, all I meant to say is what Dr. Asher did have significant holdings in art, real estate, and intellectual properties. He also, of course, owned a great deal of stock in numerous corporations. If he was ruled to not be a sound of mind, and his shares were to end up acquired by the government, Noble would suffer a serious blow to its commercial image and standing in the financial community. All of which to say is there's a great deal at stake here. Not the least of which is the reputation of a man whom I was proud to call my friend. You're not buying this, are you? In any case, in case you haven't noticed, the city is working closely with Noble on this, and they're not going to let you bring them any unwanted attention. Starling did their part. They're watching and they stopped trying to hide it. From here on out, it's a gamble. Noble Electronics already has unwanted attention. If nothing else, by the end of the day, the whole country's going to hear how David Asher committed suicide. By midnight, there will be questions about his competency, concerns about why the brain... Are we leaking it on purpose? Decide why every single Noble ad was built by an apparently unstable man. The shareholders would have nothing to do on Sunday but brood over the sad thought and all its disturbing implication. By the time the markets reopen on Monday, I expect a great deal of volatility. I understand Noble's apprehension, of course, Emma. I just feel like right now the fiscally conservative thing to do would be to not get in my way. So you've got your reasons, and Noble's got a lot to think about. But why should the DA's office devote valuable time to playing out this game of yours? Because they're certain they'll win. That goes without saying. The court should have it open at 6 p.m. I didn't have anything planned. And it's a date. Detective, would you get a clearance out? Yes, ma'am. Updates every hour, yeah? You're out on the limb, Morgan. Better not linger. Here. Clearance for all the relevant sites and police firewalls. You can interview and investigate with your authority as a good officer of the court now, if you haven't already been doing that. Don't even think about being sloppy with discovery on this. Rockford might think you're funny, but I appreciate the warning, Detective Reyes. It's nice to know that you care. I live to serve. And protect. Thanks for the assist, Starling. Yeah, no sweat. Are all cops like that, or are they more like that Detective London gentleman? They're most like that, yes. They're really all that intense? Yes, it comes from being short. And most cops are short? Yes. Great, well I'll see you at the courthouse tonight. If you need anything in the meantime, don't be afraid to ask. Good luck, both of you. What do we do now? Well I have a few options. I have access to the crime scene now, probably the best place to start. I'd like to head over to the company building to get me registered, among other things. Either David killed himself or he didn't, but if he did, it's almost certainly the asshole corporate overlords who are to blame, in which case I want to take my sweet time breaking them over the coals. What about Father? When can we see him? He'll be at the morgue by now. The medical examiner will speak to me now that I'm operating under the court's authority, but if I stop to flash paperwork at every nurse and security guard with nothing better to do than ask questions... What's that look for? You were father's friend. Aren't there people who would you like to speak with? Other friends you'd want to know? Bad news travels fast. I'm sure everyone in the country has heard about David at this point. But all that heartbreak shit did keep me pretty occupied with the last few weeks, and I was never one to pry. If there was someone who could tell me more about David's personal life over the last few months, do you have someone in mind? Maybe someone he met recently? He spoke about becoming close with someone this year, a musician. There was a PO something that David might have mentioned when we talked back in. I'll begin a search. I've completed my search. I found nothing. Thanks for the old college try. Is that really the best you can do? Father was a private man in person and online. With just a few lessons and the fact that he was a musician, I'm afraid we don't have enough information to narrow down the results. We have plenty of information. We just need the right person for the job. Time date expunged. And who would you even have called? Alright, I think that's a good place to end the stream. Next time on the stream, we will continue this game. So, I will see you all then. Goodbye.